I'm Kevin.
Stephania.
There we go.
I'm Hashim, also known as Hot Shade.
Paperboy, Michael Carter. Aloha.
That's the order. Last the order.
Hashim's the only one who fights it. Hashim's the only one who fights it.
That's because resistance is in my blood, my brother. See, we tried to jump overboard, but they grabbed us and held us back.
Oh, look at that. So profoundly, that was just profoundly stated. I love it.
All right.
What's going on? So wait a minute. Okay, wait. We last met on Saturday. Anything happened? Anybody? Anything? Since Saturday?
Where's my peach at? Where's my peach? I have a peach somewhere.
Did y'all
Steelers lost?
get some water?
Yeah.
We watching football again?
Headed.
I watched Saturday. I watched Sunday night, man.
That was an ugly game.
Broke my heart. Broke my heart. I had to sit here.
I stopped watching.
I ain't watching no damn football.
I stopped watching.
I think there's three of us all are Steelers fans, aren't we? Are there more?
Yeah.
Yeah. Diehard
Center
Steelers.
Square.
No, I'm sober.
That was sad.
It was disappointing. It was disappointing. Anything else happen? Anything that's worth discussing? You know, James Harden.
I think that was it.
Doughboy Harden went to the Nets. Oh, okay,
right.
No one cares about that. Okay.
No.
To be
I mean,
a foot taller
I mean,
than you.
the Broncos might get a new.
They got Patton. The general.
I saw that on the news this morning. Can I just say this? And, you know, I don't know if I have any political aspirations, but I love it when the Broncos lose because it clears out the things in the media and we don't spend so much time, so much energy on the Broncos. And I understand, like, it doesn't matter if I lived in San Francisco, when I lived in the Bay, it was, you know, you heard about the Raiders and about the 49ers, but it just gets to be so aggravating for people like me who believe in real issues in life need to have the same type of energy as football. Like if we could get 10% of the energy from football fans into politics at a local level, oh my goodness.
Oh, that's
if you got just half the people that paint their face, just half of them,
right
to hold signs or knock doors.
Uh-oh. Mr. Carter has some indigestion with this dialogue.
No. I agree. I'm a Steeler fan in the middle of Bronco country. I get it. I get it.
Listen, even if we lived in the pits.
Well, it sucks up all the air. It sucks up all the air. It sucks up all the energy. I get it. But I still like football. I still like it, and I still want to watch it.
I mean, nobody's perfect.
I like it too.
And I know nobody here is perfect. So.
Yeah, my name is I realize I'm nobody. Therefore,
there was one perfect man, and we know what they did to him.
We're starting early, aren't you? We started
No.
I'm like, you came
late. Started, yeah. But should we always be sitting here with our teacups?
No.
It's really
Stephania,
the spinoff. I'm telling you right there.
Yeah.
Stephania, what were we pulling you away from? Were you trying to tune in to check out Mr. Joseph R. Biden?
I did watch. He was just on. So the president just gave his a speech, and he just laid out his plan going forward for the fiscally. It was interesting. It's interesting.
Yeah, I just got notice of that. What, $1,400 in stimulus checks? Is that what it is?
Yeah. He's going to add to that 600 that we already have. He's going to do that 1,400. Go ahead, Carter. You can't stop. So go ahead.
No. Because I see a shame. No, two things. One, you only have one president at a time. All right. So one president at a time. Even if it's that one, you should have, because you don't want.
He's president.
You don't want the president biting the end of whoever's next. There's one president at a time. There should be one president. And two, I know we love these stimulus checks, but Well, actually, I think me and Hashim might be on the same page. They're giving us back our own money. It ain't a like a windfall. This is for everybody screaming, we hate socialism. They're literally giving you back your own money. And when they raise taxes to pay for the money that they gave back to you, you're going to lose your mind.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
And that's some of my issue, right? Yes. Mark your calendars.
Can I say this really quick?
Carter and Coke, same page.
Can I say this really quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Just really quick. As far as having one president at a time, this has been an unprecedented 4 years. Having one president at a time was something that was, is how things used to be. In this 4 years and at the tail end of it, we are going status quo. We need another president to talk because that first one I mean, I think the moving trucks are already at the White House, aren't they? Aren't they there now? Yeah.
Those aren't moving trucks. Those are the backs of people's trunks that these looters, these pillagers are going back to, like, this is how we originally got this piece of land over here. We just came and stole it.
That's it.
They're stealing things out the damn White House.
Bus
of Abraham Lincoln?
They stole a bus of Lincoln. Now, is that terrible?
That's what they accused Obama of going to do when he was leaving. Make sure he didn't take anything. That's what they said.
But the stimulus check, right quick though, right? Yeah, like, one, it's our own money. For some folks, it ain't even your own money. But it's just recycled money. Close the damn loophole, right? Don't tell me about this measly ass $1,200 that folks have to pay back. How about we do this? How about we end the Trump tax cuts that were done back in 2017, when Ryan had the House and McConnell was the Senate, right? Let's end that. Let's make people like Amazon that pay zero. A $1 trillion company that pays zero, zilch, nothing for taxes. How about we can make them pay that damn money, since they're going to get the money back anyway? Because you know, America's such a consumer society. What you gonna do when you get the money? I'm gonna go buy some stuff. That just make the most amount of sense to me. And cancel them damn federal student loan debts, and maybe absolve some of them private student loans debts, even if it only, I feel it should only cover the bachelors, right? Like, no, and I think it should cover the bachelors, and everything outside of bachelors is a choice. So even your community college be covered, everything up to a bachelor's covered.
I like that. I'm not opposed to that.
Look at you, find a middle ground. That's like real middle ground. Like, I'll give you K through bachelor's.
I can't even argue.
And everything else is an option.
I mean, it should be free.
Can we save this episode for my future career political run?
We're not even recording. We're not even recording. Say whatever we want. Yeah, the first college, your first degree should be free. Because here's the thing. And I saw a beautiful meme where it was somebody teaching a class in History 101. And it's like, the reason that we have public schools, we should have a populace that is intelligent, because of an intelligent populace makes better decisions. And when you're like, I don't want to learn anything about history, can you please, we 4 years ago, the Electoral College kind of popped up, and we had 60% of the country asking about what is the Electoral College. And I know everybody took civics to get out of high school. Right. I know you did. So I know somebody tried to teach it to you, but you're like, why would I need to know anything about it? I have no problem with that next level being free. And one of the few places in your life where you will be around someone with a different point of view consistently is when you go to a college. When you go to a large state institution. That's one of the few places in your life that you're going to be around somebody who has a different point of view that you can actually have a conversation with. So,
well, let me share this. There we go.
What's this?
Free colleges. Now check this out. Now tell me, Is this not it? Brazil?
Brazil.
It's taught in Portuguese, though. I mean, if you can speak Portuguese.
I'll be all right.
Czech Republic, Finland, France, Germany, Greece. These nations offer free college to international students.
What?
There's
Sweden,
Kenya.
Slovenia.
There's Kenya
Panama.
right there, man.
It's a high-scoring secondary. You get that high. What does it say? You go back to Kenya for high-scoring secondary school students.
Look at this.
Secondary, is that high school?
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. And
You
look
know
at
who wouldn't be able to qualify for that though?
Lauren Berbert.
Yep. And people are like, oh, Hashim, you're so mean. There you go again, being partisan. No, I am just simply stating a what? Fact. There's only one type. Don't be confused. There's no alternative facts. There's only one thing.
There's no United States there, by the way. I see United Kingdom, then it goes to Uruguay.
Uruguay.
Really?
Uruguay.
Well,
do you all know why, Amy? What do you know why Lauren wouldn't be able to qualify for that?
Tell us.
Tell me a fact about it.
As Mr. Carter enlightened us on before, she has a GED. So
no, nothing further.
Nothing further. And she only achieved that GED 4 months before her congressional campaign. Or before she was okay, this is where I might be wrong. It's either 4 before the congressional campaign or 4 before she was sworn in. One or the other.
Well, here's the thing. I just want to be clear. I am not denigrating anybody with a GED.
No.
The reason I went down that rabbit hole is because Crow was on the last impeachment. He was one of the impeachment managers. And this year we have 2 more Colorado delegates who are on the impeachment managers. And like, wow, is that normal? Is that normal? But it turns out we just have so many lawyers that are part of our Colorado delegation.
And just to give them the credit as well, we have Congressman Joe Neguse out of the 2nd Congressional District and Diana DeGette out of the 1st Congressional District. And if my memory serves me correctly, that's Harvard Law for Diana DeGette and CU Law for Joe Neguse.
Yes. And then if you start, I mean, it's pretty impressive. Once you start going down people's resume, you're like, ooh, all right. It's pretty impressive.
That's cool.
Pretty impressive.
But some might say the problem is we have too many lawyers in Washington.
Well,
well, then give her credit.
Marcus, wake up. He's trying to aim it at me, Marcus. You get it. You're coming after me, Marcus. You get it. But what I will say is that Ted Cruz is a Harvard-educated lawyer. So...
Look at Hashim's face.
I'm just saying, you know who else was?
Yeah.
Obama.
Right.
Right.
Yes. Head of the Harvard Law Review.
You know who's getting ready to need a lawyer?
Where's my peach? I think I have a peach.
It's all about when you have a lawyer that throws you under the bus so bad at the rally that incites the worst criminal act that you've ever been involved in. He says, let's have trial by combat.
Man.
Jeez, man, you almost could have got away with the language that you were using. And then Rudy Giuliani told it all.
Yeah.
Hey, let's do a bet. Let's do a bet that Trump will get away. And I bet drinks, right? For when we can able to go social distance again. I think Trump is not going to get hit with anything about this. I mean, except for the impeachment stuff withstanding. But outside of that, nope.
Well, Mitch McConnell, I think he's trying to, that's why he's breeding this, let's all get along. How are we going to heal? I think you're right, Hashim, I'm with you. I don't think they're going to hold him accountable.
Here's the problem. How long that bet? Like, what's the time frame? Because I think they're going, as he weakens, people are going to start taking swipes.
All right. A year.
Okay, I'll take that.
No, bet. 6 months. A year. I'm confident in whiteness.
I'll take that.
Time tested.
I'll take that bet. Put it on the
Kid
board.
tested, mother approved.
I'll take that bet. In a year, I think somebody will take a swing at it.
What side are you on, Kevin? Where are you standing?
What? Where am I
Which
standing?
side of the bet are you? Which side of the bet did you take?
Oh, no. I'm just a spectator. I don't know. I can't call it. I'm just saying it's a good bet to bet on whiteness.
Well,
No, hold up. This is like the Bible. Ain't no warm. You either cold or you hot.
Look at how
I agree. You got to pick. I need to hear the bet again so I can.
Yeah,
It's just a
again,
round of
man.
drinks.
in 1 year,
But
Trump is, what do we say?
accountable.
Indicted, charged, pleads guilty. No, indicted or charged.
He does no time.
Oh, he ain't gonna
There's
do it.
no.
oh no,
I'm
So
sure.
wait a
I'm
minute.
sure he'll get. Go ahead.
Explain the bet to me too, because I thought we were just talking about the impeachment process. and next
Outside the
steps.
impeachment process.
Oh, no,
Okay. I
I
don't think I don't think he'll even face a penalty.
I do.
But I'm on the middle of a show.
I'm opposite from you, Hashim. I do think that he's going to face a penalty, especially if New York comes after him state-wise. I do think he'll.
So
Okay.
Stephania's on my side.
So
Yeah.
I gotta clear this up again and get back in the lines for what happened for the insurrection stuff. Like he's going to come out of that unscathed.
Yeah,
that's what the bet is.
Oh no, I think he will. I believe that.
Okay, so but Michael, you said will he be indicted or charged? He might get charged and not found guilty.
No, that's not the question. And that was, look, in the next year, somebody is going to try to take a swing at him.
I'm not. No,
Oh, take a
stop.
swing?
You guys keep changing what I'm saying.
No,
Rewind
Yeah,
the
don't
tape.
move the goalposts.
we understand what you're saying, Hashim.
Okay.
And I believe he's going to come out of that completely unscathed. I'm in agreement with that. But
on the insurrection itself, but I think the Southern District is going to put some charges on him.
That's two different. Now that's two different things.
Yeah.
So we
Okay.
have-
On January 6, 2021, he's walking away cool. For anything that happened that day,
Okay.
I don't think he gets a scratch on him. And if he does, you don't even have to buff it out. Just rub real hard with your finger and it's gone.
Well, here's what I think is going to happen. I think that people are going to, because he's being hit now with loss of basically income from his PGA, from contracts canceled with New York. But we can talk about that, because why did New York wait so long to cancel contracts with that organization? But I think he's going to hit a rock bottom in a sense, because banks are saying, well, first of all, American banks didn't want to support him anyway. They won't give him money. It took Deutsche Bank to pay. And now
Where's
Deutsche
that bank
said,
from?
I want my money back. I think he's going to be so downtrodden that the Republicans are going to say, come on, look, the guy, he's suffered enough. Just let him go. But yet my response would be, what do you say to the black man? Did he suffer enough? No, he didn't? Oh, well, no. Bump that. That's what I'd be saying. But I think he's going to come away scot-free in the sense that I do think Southern District will go after him. In terms of him doing time, I don't believe that he will be, because there's going to become a constitutional dilemma on if he's not impeached successfully, which means that he gets to keep his pension and all that other stuff. Can you put this guy in prison, and what happens? So there's a constitutional dilemma there that has not been addressed whatsoever at this stage.
That's an interesting point.
So that's what I see at this point in time.
You know how they get around that? Find him guilty of treason and execute his ass.
There's that.
Guantanamo Bay, do you have a cell available?
Woo, we went there. Fair enough. Well,
That's what they were calling for, public executions, when they stormed the Capitol.
That is
And they
That's
brought their own lynching stocks, right?
that is true.
And they said that, so they so much as said that we wanted a public execution of those in the office in the Capitol.
So have you guys heard? They've been some people were doing surveillance on some alt-right websites, and people were calling for the lynching of certain members of our own city council here in Aurora, Colorado.
Whoa.
Really? I did not hear that.
Yeah.
Who were they called? Can you reveal the names that they were calling for?
The Democrats, basically. There were some pictures leaked. I'm in one of those pictures. It's some pictures from Jason Crow's campaign. So yeah, and all that stuff, it's been reported to Colorado Bureau of Investigation, and the sheriff has been notified about it, and they're doing whatever they can do, which I don't know how much they can do, and I don't know how much faith I have in these institutions, but I think everybody that's out and proud as a leftist, a progressive, a liberal, or just a Democrat in general in the public sphere, keep your head on a swivel.
Yep.
So is this part of Parler? Is this where they found this
Parler
information?
shut down.
No, Parler's
yeah.
gone.
Right. They're fighting to get back on. They are suing Amazon to get back on.
That's not.
I don't know if I want to mention what site it is to alert people.
Okay.
I could tell you privately.
And in honor of our new PA assistant.
Is that? Did he send that to us? Is that the one he said?
He did send that to us. Yes. This is.
Yeah. All right.
Give a shout out to PA
tomorrow. Huh? They should have like Walmart bags.
Come back on Saturday.
Not to degrade Walmart, but they should have like trash bags and little Piggly Wiggly bags.
No, listen. Just get the white bags with the thank you on it.
Right, the thank you bags. They got piles of those all over the place. You don't get the luggage and just pick your stuff and go.
Yes.
I was waiting for the eviction.
But right before you put the bag in the truck, it's gonna rip. It's gonna rip right when you lift.
It's raining. It's raining. They're trying to put stuff in hefty bags.
Right. It's gonna make him feel better. Somebody should stand outside and spray paint them gold. But just take the stuff and go.
Just put some KFC outside by the moving truck. It'll get him out of there.
The Big Macs. He's a McDonald's dude.
A little bit of a column B.
Oh my gosh.
So, Time magazine article out there. Anyway.
All
right. So that's space.
So we just not gonna talk about the fact that dude got hit with his second impeachment.
Do them things.
I mean, he's just making history all over the place.
Hey, look, it should be his third because he should have got impeached for retweeting a white power chant. All these people that say they're down with inclusion and they're anti-racism and all this stuff, when the leader of the free world, quote unquote, retweets a white power chant, sorry, like you got to start saying this person's unfit. They don't stand with any values that I represent.
Which chant are you talking about?
Wasn't it a dude on a golf cart? I can't remember what it was.
I thought you were talking about the blood and soil comment.
Nah, somebody literally was chanting white power and he retweeted that.
Yeah, that was the time. It was retweeted. He claimed he didn't know that.
I do remember that.
That was going on.
Tomato. Peace pipe, crack pipe. Like it's been so much. But what pisses me off is the fact that you have people's lives being threatened from Washington all the way down to Alameda Parkway, right, where Aurora City Hall is, and you had a request made by Jason Crow and about asking for our local law enforcement officers, Aurora Police Department, Adams, Douglas, Arapahoe, for them to all turn over information of people who were there. And the only one that was vocal on a Channel 7 interview was Steve Spurlock. And he said he will not comply with the request from the congressman. Police officers died, right? Let me be clear. Law enforcement, for those that died at this event, and he will not turn over information of his officers that possibly were in DC. Yikes! Can we all refuse stuff like that?
Well, here's what I was thinking. And I've been thinking about this, and I'm glad Marques is here. I want to think about this. All right. So if this group right here storms the castle, and during the storming of the castle, and a police officer is killed, all right? In what universe are we only charged with basically trespassing?
Slap on the wrist.
Even if give an answer yet. Once we go through that door, everybody gets charged with the murder of that police officer.
Yeah.
Oh, you shouldn't have gave the answer. I was going to make it easy.
It's felony
My
murder.
DNA would make it through the door.
But these people are getting picked up on basically federal misdemeanors, $5,000 bond, $10,000 bond. An individual died. Any other jurisdiction where in which you start a riot and someone dies?
Come on, Hashim, tell them why.
I'm not even talking about the president. I'm talking about people who were actively participating.
But I can't, because like I can't say like fully this time, because my memory serves me. If it serves me correctly, there was a time back in Denver, late 80s, I believe, there was a bank robbery and a police shootout, and the cops chased someone. And I want to say like around Monaco and Hamden areas, like kind of where all this stuff took place. The guy took off, right? The police arrest the woman that's in the car, handcuff her. She's sitting in the back of the car.
Yes.
The police are still chasing after this dude, right? I mean, it's on. They're still going after him. Shootout happens. The guy kills a Denver police officer. Now, mind you, she's in the back of the police car, handcuffed. All this goes through. She gets charged for a felony murder, I believe. And has to serve jail. That gets found guilty and convicted of it, right?
Yes. Yep.
So I mean, she was a white woman, right? So this like kind of stops me from saying the whole circle thing. But this is what should happen. Like, these people were not even in police custody. We don't know who tossed the fire extinguisher. We don't know who swung the lead pipe. We don't know, like, what if one of them killed one of the other protesters, right? Like, we just don't know, one of the other domestic terrorists. We just don't know what happened. But when has the law been this reserved ever?
Oh, always. Always.
What about the irony?
Reserved for... Yeah, it's not reserved for us because they throw everything at the wall. Let's see what sticks.
Yeah.
They'll even give you something that you didn't even do as part of your probation.
But here's the great part. And let me just say this, and I'll be quiet for a second, because as we all know, prosecutors can add charges. Well, we may not all know. Prosecutors can add charges darn near up until the start of trial. So new administration comes in 6 days, 5.5, give or take, comes in. Those prosecutors who are taking over, new direction can come down that, you know what, stop get rid of this tiddly stuff. Let's charge for real. Let's charge real crimes. And they can do that. So that's the benefit of this, because there's not going to be any dispositions to these cases within the next 5 days. So
that's what the FBI
I guess
guy
I'm
was
holding out some hope that the new administration, the new AG, will begin the process of actually reevaluating these cases and charging them like they should. But here's the thing. I ain't got a whole lot of confidence in Biden, because Biden is not about, he's not about putting the hammer down, which he should be at this stage.
Well, you know,
Biden's already said.
Elected,
Go ahead, Kevin.
Once he got elected, he started talking about he was going to be reaching across the aisle. He was going to water down his presence, and who he wants to capitulate to. But I wanted to bring it back to the irony of that one officer that got yanked down and then was being beaten with the American flag. And I just wonder if he might have caught on to what Colin Kaepernick was trying to say when he was saying, I don't hate the country. What I hate is like people are doing the wrong thing. And that flag doesn't mean what you really think it means. Like, I'm just wondering if he caught that irony. I picked it up when I was watching the surveillance footage.
He said you got to beat it into him, huh?
Sometimes.
I doubt if it even crossed his mind. Me personally, I feel my heart goes out to his family having to watch that over and over and over again. I can't imagine having to watch your loved one being beaten. What goes through your mind when you're like, how is he feeling? You know, what goes through his mind at those last moments? It would just haunt me forever. But I will say this, from the top down, the thing that bothers me about the justice system is how they have the ability to choose who they will charge and who they will not. And I think that's something that needs to be reckoned with. We need to figure out a way how to make sure that that ability is taken out of the hands of the people who are overtly racist, and only charge those that they, you know, the Black and brown people with those same charges, where the white people get just go home. It's happened far too many times in history. I mean, even here locally, it keeps happening.
Okay, so you have to be careful with that, though, right? If you remove the ability to charge, then everybody gets charged, or do we go back to like down a path of mandatory maximums or mandatory minimums, like or something akin to that? It's
okay. So what's the alternative? We continue to see that the white man is never charged and has to be. What's the alternative?
So it's a for my opinion, it's a multi-pronged fix. You deal with how you said to deal with it, but then also you have to you have to remove the absolute immunity that prosecutors have, right? So while you do something and I do something, and my something's not quite chargeable, but they want to use their old-fashioned charge a black man with it, at the end, they can then be punished like, yeah, that was unjust, so you get ready to take this L for what you did to him. Right now, they have a mechanism where that completely protects them from that.
Yeah, I agree
and
with that.
Needs to be removed.
There you go.
That needs to be removed before we come to any other solution. You know.
Marques, you're having trouble. You're having issues with that. What gives you pause?
No, I'm just listening. I'm just taking it in. You know, this whole process for me right now is just I'm angry. You know, yeah. And I'm angry at the fact that people can put out so much BS and that there's some fool out there who's actually believing it. And I'm just honestly, my mind was going to the speeches that I was listening to yesterday, and the nonsense that was being put out and what was being said, and the enablement of what's going on. It's just, I mean, what is there to say? I think that we are in a funk. Here's what happens typically when you get a Democratic president in. A Democratic president spends generally the first 4 years trying to repair what was done by the previous Republican president. And then the next 4 years trying to rebuild. And when you get to a level of rebuilding, people are so outraged that they go back and bring another Republican on. And so then we go back again. And so I'm just thinking about how divided we are now and where we go from here. Where do we get from here? At the end of the day, I think Trump needs to be arrested. I think he needs to be put in prison. Will that heal us? Nope. But it's going to go a long way to say that we put people in place when they think and believe that they are truly above the law. And I think that's where it starts. And if Biden can just simply say, you know what, bump this. I'm putting the hammer down. Yeah, it's going to piss some people off, but you're either going to be on the right side of history or on the wrong side.
That's agree.
Sorry.
Well, I think that you have to. You cannot allow this. They're learning from what he did, and they're just going to do it better next time. So if you allow him to walk away unscathed, the next time they will have learned and they will do it better, and they'll complete what they started to do. Well,
Joe Biden has already stated that he kind of wishes that they would put some of this behind them, because he doesn't want his initial time, his opening, his entry into his presidency to be consumed. It was the impeachment specifically, as I'm talking, that's what hit me. He doesn't want the impeachment to overshadow what he's doing in the office. And my question when I look at this, and people are like, oh, we're a country divided, have been divided. And I'm like, well, shit, it's not just a divide. It's like we're a country and it has gangrene. How do you treat gangrene?
Cut it off.
That's right. So you cut it off. You got to cut deep enough to get off the spoiled, the rotten part. And that's what we need to do here. Pursue. As basically everyone is saying, you got to go forward with this to see this is what happens when you try to take over your country or a country. Like, you have a nice option here. Some places, some people would have already been killed by now in certain countries for what they did a week ago. But we shouldn't be shocked. And so I think it was Marques said that he's just shocked by what people believe. They've been believing this since forever. Was it Call of a Nation?
Yeah.
with Woodrow Wilson when he played that at the White House? Like, has anyone seen that? Like, yikes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they always believe the lies. And when I go canvassing, it's so funny because the white women across the street, and I'm like, listen, sis. If there was a bottom of the totem pole, you would be the foundation holding the totem pole. Like, you are so good, white lady. Like, you're so good. But it's that narrative that they believe that this is what we want. This is how we behave. This is all that type of stuff. And it's like, no, that's not it. But the lies, they'll believe anything.
So speaking about one of those lies, so who's our biggest ally in the Middle East? Israel. How do you think Israel would have reacted? We love their government in America, don't we? Even Democrats are allies with Israel. If anyone were to say that they're treating the Palestinians inhumanely, then they're anti-Semitic instantaneously, right? According to the zeitgeist in our news media. So what would Israel do if there were any armed insurrection at their capital? What do you think Israel would do? I think Israel would have those turrets come out of the corner of the building and just mow them all down. I'm relatively certain they would all be gone. They would be trying to have armed insurrection, and they would no longer have their lives because they run over peaceful people in front of their house with bulldozers because they want to move Israeli people there and displace Palestinians. So I'm relatively certain even their most patriotic coming in armed and wanting to protest their governmental institutions would be no longer in the land of the living.
Two things. I think Israel's a very interesting argument, and you just got to be very, very careful with what would Israel do, and think back to Munich 72 and I think it's the Mossad and what Israel did. But just be real careful with what would Israel do.
I'm just saying that they're saying that we're friends with them and we support them and we're like-minded. I don't do the same things. I don't believe in the same things as the Israeli government. But these same people that invaded our capital say they do. And what do they think they would be caught with if the strong man were so strong?
I don't want to be part of that discussion with how Israel became about and all of that. But what I will say, and this is what I've been thinking about the whole time, is that the pictures, that the white privilege was not them forming on the grounds and going into the building. That was not white privilege.
Going into the building.
The white privilege was them walking out of the building. Them walking out of the building, getting on planes, and going home, as in, our insurrection is done. We're going home now. And the reason I say that is when they were confronted with, okay, you just stormed the US Capitol. What do you mean you're upset that you can't get on an airplane? That, like I said, the white privilege wasn't walking in. It was them walking out thinking, okay, well, I'm going to get on this plane and go home. I'm an officer in the police force. I'm just going to go back to my job. I'm a state representative. I'm just going to go home. See, that, if, like I said, I hate going back to it, but if we stormed the Bastille and then we came out and we're like, okay, what are you doing today? Well, I'm going to head on over. I got court in the morning. Stephania's like, well, I got a couple of showings.
Right.
I agree with you 100%, Carter. And I think that I will take that a step further. I think the white privilege, it goes a step further in that they videotaped their crimes. You got the nerve to videotape your crime and then go home and act like you're going to keep your jobs and sleep in your bed, and like you don't want to cover your face or anything like it. And I'll take it back to, on Kevin's point. We can't imagine this being Israel, but what we can do is imagine Israel coming over here and invading our capital. And we know we just had a president in the office where the United States was for sale. So what makes him, he's got to be held accountable, because what makes you think that with any of the secrets that he has, he's not already putting them out there and saying, this is what you have to do to take over our government, to overthrow the government of the United States.
But we did have a senator on the Intelligence Committee that thought it was it Iran? That she thought it was Iranians that were out there doing that. She could not believe that it was people that looked like and voted her into office out there.
Wow. She said that?
Doing their best to say it was Antifa. They are
and that was
yeah, they were
Collins.
really time for that.
And I'm not trying
look,
to Israel say anything negative.
Let me jump
them,
back in. Let me jump back in. What I was saying was a comparison to what the supporters of conservative governments say they like. If they say they like this sort of stuff, then they should have expected hot lead when they walked up to the Capitol building.
Law and order, buddy.
They like law and order. They support the police. The police were trying to stop them. If a black man walks up to a cop and tries to get past him, they support that cop puts a hot bullet in him. They're like, well, what was he doing? Right? Why was he breaking the law? So the same thing goes, because it's not based on race, right? They're all saying it's not based on race. So they're expecting to go up there and get gunned down. But no, once again, white privilege was, and I disagree, Mike, that the white privilege was walking up to that cop and applying force and not being dead. Because I would never dream of applying force to a cop without being shot. I would never.
I'm on the Kevin side on this one. And I've been in DC on a protest before and went to be like an adult with a group of children, right? They wouldn't let us on the Supreme Court steps to take a picture after everything was over with the kids. And some of these were white kids that were with us. And I'm like, we can't take a picture? No. Wow.
Look, I went to DC on like a Wednesday. I went to DC on a Wednesday in the Capitol Police. They were so menacing. They were standing like every 8 feet across the front of certain buildings and making eye contact with you if you look towards them. Like,
so I'm
not going to say they rolled the red carpet.
Have y'all been in DC during this current presidency?
Mm-hmm. Yes. I was there in October. I was there twice.
I was a few times, more than a few times.
I went to the.
What was the difference?
African American History Museum.
Well, go to the White House. We got barricades on barricades. We got guards all over.
It's
now,
like gates.
Guards, but they got the big ARs out. It's different. It's different. It's different.
No. It is completely different.
You're paranoid. That's what you do because you know you're doing wrong.
Yeah, and I went the weekend of the RNC.
The sad thing, Kevin, is that there's levels to it, and all of it on a whole is white privilege. All of it, from the beginning of walking up to the police officers to then walking home and filming it. It's all white privilege. There's levels to it.
Absolutely, and they can't play the class thing either. Oh well, people that are upper middle class, blah blah blah. Because we've seen too many millionaire rappers show a gun or a pile of money that or be in a video with a person that is a known whatever, and they end up behind bars just for going on Instagram Live.
Yes, for wrapping their crime, not realizing the statute of limitations thing is active.
Now this representative in Virginia, has the same thing happen to him, and his grandma's got to stop the news camera.
right.
Or what about the little snowflake in Arizona that's like, my diet has to be changed. I have to eat a shaman organic diet, and the judge said, yes, Mr. White Man, sure.
With all these police officers and lawyers and CEOs going to jail, do you think that we will now tackle prison reform, jail reform? Do you think that we may get some organic food in there? Bob Barker will have to change what they're putting on people's back?
I believe several of those individuals will be coming to Colorado. I think there are going to be a lot of people who found themselves inside the Capitol and will find themselves in a place called Florence, Colorado. Look it up. Beautiful accommodations. It's beautiful out there this time of year.
It's right in the middle of nature, isn't it?
Oh, dude. Honey.
Nice, serene area, quiet drive out.
It's so natural. Even the bologna is green. That's how much nature there is.
But they also have a chamber there too that you can visit, but you will come out changed. Permanently.
I think, but Rod Blagojevich, what's his name?
Blagojevich.
He just left. He just left a couple of months ago.
Was he in Florence or was he at the one right off of Kipling?
It was that's right. He was pardoned a while ago, not too long ago. But
he was in Florence.
Yeah.
He was in Florence.
Yeah,
You know
he flew out of Colorado. He flew out of
no, I know he was here, but wasn't he at the Federal Center off of Kipling?
Was he that close? I would have visited.
No,
I think he was.
Those are holding facilities. That's not prison.
Oh,
real one.
So you know what I'm talking about, right off of Kipling and.
Yes.
Okay.
I've been there a few times to interview a couple clients.
Okay, my bad. We're all cell service dies.
What a coincidence.
There is an EMP that is around that area. That is correct.
I'm on the street and Sprint is like, yeah, we don't do this, Jack. Good luck.
It's like, you're on your own. You got a smoke signal.
So here's the problem, Carter. In order for them to come to Colorado, they first have to be charged with the correct crime and convicted.
Somebody getting charged with that police officer passing away. Someone's going to get charged. With real. Well, there was the one who
he committed suicide.
Committed suicide. Are you talking about another one? One was actually beaten to death. Then one committed suicide afterwards. But was there another one?
So I don't know of the suicide officer, but I thought one was beaten to death there. One died a few days later from injuries.
Okay. Hospital. They will. That is a.
And why did he commit suicide?
Hold on a second, Jaden, look that up.
No. Why did the cop commit suicide?
Well, we don't know fully. They didn't really put out the story as to why, but that one officer apparently killed himself like the next day.
I don't know, man. It might have something to do with those tours they were giving all those people the day before.
Tours?
Why they were easily able to find representative.
Well, the word came out is that it was Lauren Hobart. They said it was her who was giving the tours. And if you watch the video, you can hear how they're talking about. And then you got a lady who's standing outside the window, one of the windows that's broken, and she's saying, "Oh, there's a place down the back. There's a wall down there."
With a bullhorn.
But let's not leave Lauren so quick. Lauren was also texting locations of the speaker during this insurrection attempted coup.
Well,
and let's get black real quick, because didn't Ayanna Presley have her panic button stripped out of her room?
And they notified the sergeant at arms of it.
All of them gone.
Okay, I don't know that one. I don't know that one. Somebody explain that one to me.
And if you've ever been in the office of a congressman, they have more than a few. They're hidden, but they have more than a few. And I remember when I was going to visit Jared Polis when he was a congressman, and they're around. So the fact that those are removed, all coincidental.
All of them are missing.
It's a little more than a riot or a protest that went too far.
Exactly. And there's proof and so much evidence that says that. So will anybody be charged and held accountable for a coup on this government?
Well, I can't talk about Lauren Boebert too much. And the reason why is because I need to talk about the opposite of her right now. The opposite of her is Congresswoman Cori Bush. And I don't know if y'all follow her, but she's a beast.
Yeah,
so she just tweeted 1 hour ago. The article impeachment was H-Res 24. My resolution to expel the members of Congress who worked to sabotage our democracy and incited a white supremacist coup is H-Res 25. Now that we passed 24, let's get 25 on the floor. That's what I'm talking about. That's the type of movement I'm talking about. She is actually bringing it to the floor of the House.
She hit the ground running. She ain't even a month old.
Well, AOC the same way. AOC came out hitting that ground running. Yeah. I mean, not even a month old. You right.
Yep.
I'm proud.
Shout out to her. Yep, love it.
My mama was born in St. Louis. I have connections. I have ties.
Let's get her on the show. She's young enough that we may be able to get her on the show right now. She ain't too shit.
When Pelosi sent out her, right after it happened, she sent out that letter to, asking about the 25th Amendment and kind of putting everybody on notice that they were going to be impeaching the president. She mentions not by name, but the statute. She mentions the 14th Amendment. She mentions specifically in the letter dude, it was, I don't want to say the insurrection clause, but the clause they used against Confederate senators in
Amendment 14. Amendment 14.
It's the 14th Amendment, but it's inside of it, and how you can get rid of an insurrection.
Section 3.
How you can get rid of a senator or someone who is serving in Congress who commits insurrection.
Are you trying to take shine away from Corey right now to give to Nancy? Because we were just trying. We were just like.
What? I apologize.
Let's appropriate that one right on back.
Sorry, my bad.
But here's what's interesting about the 14th Amendment, though, because it's not clear on how you expel. Well, I guess it is clear. It's just the way it's written. It's a 2/3 vote of each house. So 2/3. That's a lot.
We have the mechanism to get rid of these horrible Congress people. They're called elections. Please pay attention.
Yep, please pay attention and remember, the political memory is short.
Oh.
It's short. And the other side is crafty. Like if you all listen to the hearings that were going on, every time they got up to the mic, right, it was forgive, or it was one of these things. It was this forgive. It was, we didn't do this to Black Lives Matter. The impeachment stuff didn't happen here, or people in this Congress hall were saying looting is okay. Why are we making an issue of it now? Like it was all this messaging. The machine was going while they were speaking at the mic.
Crafted messaging.
It was crafted.
Even Beaufort, here, get up here and say this. Huh? All right. Well, what if we give it to you in crayon? Just say this.
She did a good enough job.
The ridiculousness of woman arguing against the ridiculousness of a senator or representative arguing against an election. You would never, ever let me reach into Texas, Kansas, Wyoming, and tell you how to run your election. Right. In what universe do you think we can reach into Pennsylvania, Georgia, Arizona, Nevada,
Wyoming, New Mexico, bordering states? Yeah.
Although I know Hashim's not going to give her credit, there was a very, I knew it. There was
I will give her credit.
Person who voted.
I'll give her credit if you guys start giving me an award for wiping and flushing.
Wow.
Because that's what you're supposed to do. Wow. Right? You don't get brownie points for doing what you're supposed to do.
Right.
Wow. Can it be more plain?
Team Hashim.
Wow. Okay.
That's plain.
Okay.
I tried. But she was the number 3 House Republican, and she did vote for impeachment.
Where was she 2 years ago? Where was she 4 years ago?
True.
How did she vote for the last impeachment? Where was her statement then? These are just some questions I have.
If a police officer don't die, white supremacy don't count.
Nope.
You know what?
Right.
You know what? Just because she is in a complete.
Oh, I'm listening.
Not. You know where I'm going. She is in a completely red state, like woo red, like maroon red, like dark red state. She is, I believe, married or cohabitating with a woman. Correct?
Oh, yeah. My bad. I was nodding off with all this. Yeah, she's a member of the LGBTQIA community. She's a lesbian. She is Dick Cheney's daughter, who's a lesbian. Dick Cheney's the vice president that helped commit all these type of war crimes. I wonder what her stance is about her daddy doing that. Now that's taking a stance. Now you want to pop your collar around me? Talk about what your daddy did was wrong, right? Yep. But if you want to pop, no, I don't care how red her state is. Her blood is red too. I don't give a damn about none of that, because That's what you're supposed to do anytime a foreign adversary charges the Capitol.
Yep.
And someone is being like, we're not going to take this back through kindness or whatever the hell the orange sack of digestive fluid said. Like, no, she gets absolutely no credit. And I don't care if she's the #1 Republican in charge. No.
I have to pay for your mother too.
And it's calculated. I'm so sick of people with this shit. Like, Mike Kaufman tried to pull a stunt at the end of his congressional career where he started to vote for us to keep the Obamacare, right? He did not actually take that no vote that they have done over 70 times, 70 attempts to change the Obamacare, ACA, right? So Mike Kaufman takes a different votes with the Dems one time, and so they're using that for type of fetter. It's all calculated, and I'm sick of this. Nothing gets acknowledgement or any type of praise from me on a calculated vote. No.
Okay, so just to be clear.
And the last 2 years of the House, they don't get credit for me on jack squat. Why? Because before, when we pushed in 2017, when we start pushing for like impeachment to go through, the whole delay and pause was no matter what we do, it's all going to die over in the Senate. Cool. So we increased our majority 2 years from then in the House, and now they're like, oh, Black Lives Matter, pass this. Black Lives Matter, pass that. Brown Lives Matter, immigration matters. All this type of stuff matters. Let's pass it because they know it's going to fall dead in the Senate. That same logic has to apply then that applied before. So they get no credit for me because it's all performative.
And when you say they, we're just talking about Liz Cheney right now.
No, I'm talking about anybody that does calculated shit.
Well,
and I'm specifically talking about Liz's gay ass. And stop all the hate mail. That's my community. I can holler about it.
We were waiting on you.
I'm still trying to reconcile
nothing. I should let it pile up.
I'm still trying to reconcile it. How can you be a member of that particular political party, but also be a member of the community? I don't understand. How did she reconcile?
Log cabin Republicans. Log cabin Republicans are the part of the LGBTQ part of the Republican Party, and it happens all the time. What's the Olympic athlete and part of this Kardashian mess? Athlete Bruce. She used to be Bruce. Caitlyn Jenner, right? Jenner is what she goes by, right?
Is he a Jenner?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Caitlyn is Bruce.
Jenner, yes.
Jenner.
Okay, so Trump supporter.
Oh, there is a such thing as log cabin Republicans. I've heard that term. I don't know what it's legit.
Is that what that means though? Log cabin Republicans?
Yeah.
They were formed.
It's like the Democrats.
They were formed in
Stonewall
1977. 1977.
Can we just acknowledge the anti-blackness that's going on right now?
Whoa, I knew what a log. I know what it was. I knew what it was.
I heard the term.
So Michael's absolved from this hit. I ain't hitting him on this. I am a political analyst. That is my bread and butter. I'm telling you, there's log cabin Republicans. There's not even a bad joke I can make to log cabin Republicans be. Well, maybe, but no.
Where does the name log cabin come from? Where does that come from?
You stopped all of them. It was over.
That's a terrible name. Where did it come from? Log cabin?
No.
Log?
You don't want to know. You don't want to know.
No, we do want to know. We do want to know. That's what this show is for. Where did it come from?
Hashim, you have to know. Explain it to them, Hashim.
The Democrats are known as the Stonewall Democrats here in Colorado. I'm not doing any more Republican history.
I don't want to explain it because I don't want to get it wrong, but it has something to do with somebody who lived in a log cabin.
Are you saying that Lincoln was gay?
Yes. Mary was a beard.
What's that mean? I don't know what that means.
Oh, you are teaching tonight, Hashim. Oh, put on your TV. You are teaching tonight.
Like a prop, a phony, like
okay.
Yeah, like Mary. Yeah, like just That's what they try to say Rosario Dawson is for
Cory Booker.
Cory Booker. Yeah.
That's a mean. Woo,
So-
that's a mean one right there.
You gonna get a beard.
I had to go to Wikipedia.
Ain't a good one.
So here's what Wikipedia says. This designation of log cabin calls attention to the first Republican president, Abraham Lincoln. The log cabin Republicans suggest that Lincoln founded the Republican Party on the philosophies of liberty and equality. These principles, log cabin argues, are consistent with their platform of an inclusive Republican Party. If that's not the biggest crock of crap I've read.
Wait, is that Wikipedia or is that their page?
That's Wikipedia.
Wikipedia.
There's more.
I'm going to their page too. Oh, is there a chapter here in Colorado? There looks to be a chapter here in Colorado. I'll be darned. Jeez.
Yeah. So listen. So here, this is gonna blow your mind. So during the Senate race, and even before the Senate race, so I think Jason Crow's tracker, or no, he was the tracker back when Phil Weiser, Jared Polis, and all when them and Jenna and Dave Young were running. There was this tracker, and he was a black gay Republican. And a tracker, for those of you out there, is someone that you'll see them at events. They just hold up cameras or a microphone recording device, trying to capture the opponent. Like, so the Republican is trying to capture the Democrat. We have ours that try to capture the Republicans. Get the recordings so we can like chop them up to use in commercials, right? The attack ads, a lot of your information, a lot of the footage in attack ads come from people who were trackers. Yeah, but he's a black gay Republican. And I'm like, our special word, how?
Right?
How? You like, I'm black, I's gay too. Tells me.
Cognitive dissonance. It's easy.
She's got like the olive leaf or the oak, like explain it to me. Help me understand, sir.
Yeah.
This is
What
downright.
about the Stonewall? Is it Stonewall Democrats?
Yeah.
Is that what I'm thinking of too?
Stonewall in New York.
The Stonewall riots? Or no?
Yes, but not Stonewall Jackson. Like
No. Sorry, for anyone who thinks the Stonewall Democrats are all about Stonewall Jackson.
What if I'm wrong? What if it is because of Stonewall Jackson? They're like, well, he got that nickname because his walls were stone.
That is hilarious. That is hilarious. Like we're
it was tight, baby.
Are based on Stonewall Jackson, not the New York riots.
At least it wasn't Snapback Jackson or something like that. I don't know.
Snapback.
Stephania's like, where is the Lord when you need him?
Yes.
So
Sister
interesting.
Gallegos. Anytime you want to get in here, Sister Gallegos.
So,
No, you know what?
Republicans, they endorsed Lauren Boebert, whatever her name is.
Who did?
The log cabin Republicans, log cabin folks. They endorsed Lauren, they endorsed Steve House, and they endorsed the brother, Dr. Trey Penny. I don't know if that's a real doctor out of Texas.
Didn't Trump just attack some LGBT rights right after, like the day after?
That's what I'm
saying. The day after the insurrection?
The hypocrisy is amazing. And yet they turn around and endorse him. They endorse Trump. That's the first two people on it. Trump and Pence. What has Pence said about the LGBT community?
Is shock therapy a fix it?
It's on the top of their endorsement page. Pence.
Reassignment.
Well, listen, he said that nothing but what? Murderers, rapists, and drug dealers, and they're crossing the border, talking about Mexicans, Trump. And if you look at those towns, whose numbers had an uptick in support for Donald Trump this past election?
Did I have this conversation? We were talking about how, but when there was an uptick in black males and Hispanic males voting more for Donald Trump. And it seemed the more misogynistic and patriarchal he got, those numbers went up.
There was an uptick in Black women too.
And my question was, and I'll throw it out there, Stephania, did the uptick in Black women and them definitely taking the lead, did that have an effect on Black males?
What you mean?
Black women taking the lead, being more out front.
Oh, were Black men like, well, since she doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and just do this over here?
Because the argument I've had with people was that in Georgia, the increase wasn't just turnout, it was Black men. And Black men, meaning they didn't vote in the November election, but they voted in the January election. Mm-hmm. Why would they be suppressed in November, but not in January? And the only difference was that there was a Black woman on the ticket. But I'm asking.
Wow.
So,
that's interesting. That's so really interesting.
I'm just wondering.
I do pushback against this, what I call as strategic strikes at Black community. When only people that can say that Black women led this and leave Black men out of it are Black women and Black men. I don't give anybody that's not Black a pass when they say Black women saved this. The correct statement is Black people saved this, led by Black women. Okay. That's the correct statement. And I make them say that because I look at it as a calculated hit to continue a fracture, a rift in our community between Black man and Black woman, Black male, Black female. And so when I hear that Black men decided to vote for Trump because Black women were being so dominant and leading the wave of getting out the vote, I have a hard time swallowing that, right? I don't agree with that. I put that towards it was how the other side was pushing the narrative of Biden's record. And this is what I've heard as well, too. Biden's record and voting on the crimes bill and Kamala being a DA, right? So that and an AG, a DA is more impactful is what they want to throw that hit at. That messaging is why I can't support that ticket is what I've heard from more Black men than I can't support a woman running.
So because she was a DA?
I heard that too.
Top cop. And I've even had to put my finger almost in some white folks' mouth, like, you shut the hell up, right? Like, you don't get to say this. But not all skin folk, kin folk, or how Black people shouldn't, she was a DA and all, called Uncle Tom, all this stuff. Like, there was a big movement against Kamala because of that, but they were letting little white girl, Amy Klobuchar, skate. And she's a DA. And not only that, she refused to file charges against the officer that killed George Floyd.
Right.
Huh.
I find that hard to believe, Hashim, though. I mean, I get what you're saying. I find it hard to believe that Black men would not vote for Kamala, but vote for a man who absolutely hates them. Like, it doesn't make sense for me.
It's a question.
Who were the preachers that went around him and the majority of the folks praying on him? Black men. Like,
say that again. You cut off.
It was like, he's always had higher numbers of Black male support than Black women support. Like, sure. You have these coons that step out capping for Trump, and they happen to be more so male coons. I mean, the three women that we can identify, Diamond Silk and the girl with the bad edges.
Candace
Owens. Yeah.
I think we got to give Candace.
I love you.
We got ask her if she's coming on here. Tell Candace she can speak here, even though she couldn't speak at the RNC.
That's true.
We'll give her a microphone. We'll give her a spot and seat at the table.
All right.
And I even have a friend that does here. I'll give her a referral.
There are some people who have.
I don't know what time it is.
Okay. Jaden, put up a picture of Candace Owens. Dash.
Y'all know what time it is.
Man, time flew, dude.
It did, actually.
Real quick, Hashim, because Marques is giving us the Sandman.
He said Candace who?
We're gonna have to work on this, man. We're gonna have to work on you.
Nah, it could have been Shade.
You
Like,
know what?
Not even a factor. Candace who?
You know, you've been talking about someone, man. You've been teaching about a Shade.
Here we go. Here, let me. I got one for you right here. Let me just see if I can.
Hashim,
Yes, sir.
just real quick while he's looking it up, and before he runs us off, then explain to me why more blacks, his numbers went up.
You are terrible.
No, we ain't terrible. That hairstyle is terrible.
Yes. You know what?
Whoever put that last perm on there is terrible. Then she got split in. She has breakage. She has burn damage
No
ends.
moisturizer.
Like all that flipping down here.
Candace.
That's terrible.
I am not joining in on this
folks.
one.
Folks have better pubic hair than that.
You know,
but
I
let
don't
me-
call that shuffling and jiving for him. I call it Stockholm syndrome. There are some people, some blacks that just have Stockholm. They just love their master.
But my question is
They
how
love their master.
there was a specific, certain numbers went up, certain groups went up. I want to know why. And that was my question. I don't have an
Bring
explanation.
that back to us next episode, Hashim. That's homework.
Tell Harvard to do a study. Taxpayer money, do a study.
I don't know what that whole
Okay,
touch of
you
your
are
nose thing
me.
is.
Hey,
You
Stacey
are
Dash.
finding them all
Hit up with
today.
Stacey Dash, son.
She's got us nice.
Or no. What's the guy from oh man.
Casper Stockham?
Is it Casper?
Are you talking about Paris Dunnard?
Paris.
There is Denard. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, but he fell from graces when he caught some sexual harassment allegations.
Is that, well, it
Yeah,
ain't
I
like
believe that. I just didn't believe that it came from women.
Ah,
I'm like, whoa,
ah.
I thought you were a card carrier, my brother. No, I just,
Wow.
That blackness caught
am
up
I
with
the
him.
only one?
I just thought he was just,
A
I don't know
shame.
what it was.
Just what?
Yeah.
But I think it is shucking and jiving, right? Some in Stockholm, but I think like Candace Owens, she actually believed in like the the functions of the NAACP. Yes, like and had a lawsuit based upon racial discrimination, right? But now it does not a thing. It doesn't exist. Like this is anyway. We out of time.
Yep, we out of time. But y'all know what's up, though. We coming back on Saturday. It's Saturday.
Are we getting anybody? Are we getting
Me,
well
Stephania,
anybody special other than
me and
Stephania?
Stephania.
I
Really?
mean, Stephania's special. So thank you.
Other than us, he said.
I appreciate it.
Yes, Michael, I will be there.
Boom.
There you go.
I would like to shout out my producer.
Yes, let's give
Yeah,
shouts out.
Jake.
Can he get on camera just to say hi? Look at that. Black
Little
excellence
paper
in
boy.
the house.
A little slow tonight, but we're gonna figure it out. He did find that Candace Owens picture pretty quick. I don't know what that's about.
That was me.
I'm gonna
I
need
found
out
you to
he's a
stop
follower.
shading the producer.
He's working hard, right?
Hey, he start
Hello.
paying rent, he can actually have he can have an opinion. Till he start paying rent.
Here we go. Here we go
See,
with them
this
bags.
is how we
Here
emulate
we
the
go.
behavior of the colonizers, hurting people, hurt other. When will we end this curse of oppression? When will we end this pain? When will we stop the hurt?
When he pays rent,
Come back.
And with that,
So he has to buy his freedom.
he
and
can
with
move
that,
out.
dope black
Will you
thoughts.
free us?
Hey,
Wow.
hold on.
Big.
Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin. Do you watch tape? That's all I want to say is, do you watch tape? Everybody else watching tape 3 times in a row. Do you watch